Yeah. We are recording, and this might not be as random as you think, or maybe it is. I'm going to call this Letter from the Postman's Bag. That is also the name of a song, but it's to do with letters and things like that. And people often say to me about, why do I write a letter? Why can't I email? Why can't I use texting? And forget about a letter. Because letters are, in some cases, old-fashioned. People will say that they're now out of fashion. Well, I find that letters are more personal, and that's why I still do them. And there's a goal. It's like a goal, because I always think that when you write a letter, as I said, it's personal. And there's that thing about sometimes you don't always have emails and texting to the people that you obviously want to get hold of. Because I know there's a friend in America, and she doesn't come online as much as she used to, and basically she wrote me a letter because she moved, and she wrote me a letter and said, where am I, you know, basically asking how I am and all this and that. And I was like, and I felt, you know, good about that, you know, and I thought, well, I could write to her back, because it was a case of, you know, if she doesn't have as much over the internet and the email and that, how will I get hold of her? And letters are a good way of doing that, and it's not only letters, but it works in swaps as well. You know, like I make CDs and I can send them to people. Like, I'll say to somebody, we should do a swap CD thing, and I do that with somebody in Austria. We always send CDs. He tells me practically what music he likes, and majority of that, and I go searching through my collection to find tracks that he might like. Different artists, as much as, you know, some that he might know, I don't know. And he does the same back. It's very enjoyable. And it doesn't have to just be CDs, it could be anything, because swaps are a good way of doing that, you know, like gifts. If it was something I want to send a gift to somebody, I wouldn't often need the address to do that. And there's that thing about, like, if somebody, like, I might say I collect Billboard music books, so I could go and say to somebody in America, if you've got me one of them books, I could give you something in return of almost the same value. I'm not saying it's going to be obviously dearer, but around the same value. Why? I don't know whether they're going to complain that I'm spending, say, £10 less or whatever. I mean, surely that's not a problem, depending on what I would be buying. If they got me a book from America and I know it was a Billboard one, which I love, it could be basically in English money £40, right? That's £40. So I could go out there and say I'm going to buy something, and it's going to cost me, say, £35 to do. But this could be in total. The book that they're sending me could literally be £30 and cost them £10 to send it, which in the same as the returning of what I'm doing. I'm buying something for, say, £30, and it's costing me, what, £5 to send it, I don't know. And it's that way of dealing, of doing that. And, you know, that's not a bad idea, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that all the time, because it would cost a bit. But ever so often, the simple letters and putting like little bits in cannot be a problem. That's what I like. And I'm always good with recycling. Recycling's like my massive thing. That when I get a package, particularly when I'm buying CDs, say from Amazon, that is cheap, I always like to think that it comes, and I take my own label off it. I check when I always try and open them as carefully as I can. I know I can't always do that, but I always do whatever I can to open them, so I don't rip them too much, because I can use that again. It's so damn good that I keep them. It saves me going out to the shop and spending, I know they're only £1, you can go to Poundland and buy like, say 5 or 10 of these like Jiffy bags for like £1. But I'm thinking, well, you know, I might not need to do that, because I'm getting Jiffy bags sent to me. I'm getting a CD from, say, Amazon, it comes in a Jiffy bag, and it will cost me nothing, because I can just take my label off, put another label on it. The Jiffy bag wouldn't be that bad, but only if it's worth keeping. Some Jiffy bags will be usable because they have a lot on it that you can't really get rid of. And this is a pure example that I've got here, basically, because it's actually got on it Music Factory Entertainment Group, which basically means and postage has been paid, so you can't really use that because it would obviously be, and it's got the name of the place where, you know, somebody's gonna think, oh, what has he done? He, you know, but I think letters are personal. I like the idea of letters and just basically all parcel packages and things like that. You know, really do. I absolutely love getting letters, and I like reading them, and I still like to write them out. And plus, you can have so much to say in the letter. I mean, if I was writing a story or something, I might well write it down, but be able to print it off if I was typing on the computer or whatever, and be able to say, well, I can send it to somebody. Somebody can read my story. Somebody that I know could have a letter with my story in it. And I think letters can still be of use today than what it is in terms of people saying to me, but what is it? Why can't you email? Why can't you text? I do that. I do text, email, I do letters. I do all three of them, but I'm just saying that letters are still a part of this whole thing to me, and I think that is something I believe in keeping, and you know, and there's also this last thing I'm going to finish off is that my friend in America had this brilliant idea of a food swap. Now you're probably thinking, why? Well, because basically it's interesting to see how different the food is in that country to this country, and we are allowed to send food over. I mean, we can't ship everything, but we're allowed to ship so much, and there's things like cookies and crisps and chocolate and various things, you know, and obviously, I don't know, cups of soups and things like that, and pastas. Is it like pasta things or whatever they are? Certain things you're allowed to actually ship over, and we sort of like say to ourselves that we'd like to ship various things, you know, because we want to see what they're like, you know, we want to see what their brand of food in America might be like to wear. They have some what we like, but it's interesting to, you know, imagining that they have this like company that make like, if you've got a company in America that make cookies, I'm not saying they're going to be as good as our cookies, but what I am saying is they might be. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to be like? Who knows what their brand of crisps might be better than ours? I don't know. And it's something we do, and I said that it would be a nice idea. We go around the supermarket here, and I buy a couple of ingredients, some bits that my friend wants, and she does the same. And we basically have a swap. And I think that's a really good idea, and I like that. So again, the whole packages, the whole letters things, it's on top form for me. And I know I try and send a few letters every so often. I'll probably send a couple of letters I'll probably send at least one a month. I guarantee you that, but I get some back, so it's probably a little bit more than that, but it depends. One month I might not send any, but then it might be that in the next month I'm sending 3 or 4 at the same time, so that's the way it is. Anyway, bye for now.